Hi guys. I'm sorry I haven't updated in a while. I'm pretty sure the last time I updated was 2 years ago? 2015? Yeah. Um, the last 2 years have been interesting. If you're following me on Facebook, you know some of it. Um, Basically, I've been getting migraines pretty much every day and been having a lot of neurological symptoms. And so if I kind of talk a little weird or space out while I'm doing this video, that's why. um, Basically, I wanted to do like a few life updates, and then the major bomb I need to drop is that I'm having surgery on May 4th. And you can bring on the May the 4th be with you jokes. I've heard it a lot already. But I'm really hoping that the Force will be with me on the 4th. So as far as life updates go, I have applied for disability and I got denied my first time. And I put in my appeal at the end of November, and I have still yet to hear anything back, and it's almost May. So I'm getting a little nervous about that, but what happens, happens, you know. Secondly, I guess it's related. I've been thinking about it a lot, and one of my hobbies that I do, I write and I do video editing, you know, as a hobby with TV shows and stuff like that. And writing has been hard because of my neurological symptoms. If you hear any noise, by the way, I have a puppy in my lap, and so if she starts snoring or something, that's her. But writing has been hard because my neurological symptoms have caused dyslexia, which I've only had for the past 2 years. Never had as a kid or anything like that. But that makes it hard, and so does the brain fog and migraine and everything like that, along with my other chronic pain. It just makes it very hard to concentrate on writing something that makes sense. So recently I haven't been writing a lot, but I do still video edit. I used to have a Vine, which was like 6-second like little edits, but Vine shut down, and so now I post my edits on Twitter and Instagram, and I make longer videos for YouTube, usually with full songs. The Instagram and Twitter stuff is usually, you know, anywhere from 6 to 20 seconds. So I do that because I don't know, it's very methodical. Like, you have to cut clips and then you have to put them together how you want them, and it's almost like a puzzle. I know a lot of people with chronic illnesses like to do coloring or puzzles or knitting or whatever, and this is just my thing because I find it easy to do even when I'm in pain. So I've been doing that, and so I've decided recently that I want to freelance. And so I've been, searching for stuff, but because my surgery's coming up so quickly, I haven't applied to anything just because I don't want to get into something where like I can't complete a project for someone. So I'm hoping once I feel better after my surgery, I'll be able to start doing that. And ideally, I'd like to save up because I'm looking at a few online film programs, specifically through Full Sail and the LA Film School. They both have online film programs. They're very expensive, but I'm hoping that they may pay off. There's some internships even around me where you can like work at a news station or things like that, but you have to have proof of being in a film program. And so I'm looking into that. And so now let me get on to the other stuff. First, I will show you guys my puppy. It's actually my mama's puppy. You guys probably know Benson if you follow me on Facebook. If not, he's my other puppy. And this one, she's so tired. This is Nellie. Say hi, Nellie. Nellie. Hi, say hi. She's a sweetie. We just rescued her on Saturday. She came from the place we rescued her from, that rescued her, where we adopted her from. They rescued her, and Benson came from there as well, from a kill shelter in Albuquerque, where they kill 350 dogs a week. So I can't imagine the conditions there are very good. Benson's had some issues as far as like aggression goes. So we've been training him, and he had a little bit of a rough time warming up to Nellie. But he's doing better. Today they played in the yard together, and they only had a few little spats, and that was mostly over toys. So normal sibling stuff. But yeah. Hi. Yeah. Alright, so let me get into why I'm really making this video. As most of you know, either from this YouTube channel or from my Facebook, because I talk about it all the time, I have a plethora of diagnoses. This one is mainly related to Ehlers-Danlos. If you're not familiar, it's a connective tissue disorder, which it basically means you have a lack of collagen in your body, and collagen is one of the main building blocks of your body. It makes up your skin, the cushioning in between your joints, etc., etc. I get partial and full dislocations from it. I scar very easily. My skin tears very easily. I bruise very easily. And that happens on the inside as well. Ribs will pop out of place. You can have ruptures in your organs, etc., etc. And so I do also have a Chiari malformation, and a Chiari malformation is when the hole at the back of your skull, where your spinal column comes up into your brain, the opening there, mine's too small, and so basically, I'm sorry. Basically, so the spine is supposed to go in the hole, right? And basically my spine is hypermobile, right? up at C1 and C2, which are the first two vertebrae in your spine. So my spine, those two vertebrae move back and forth. And so because that hole is already so small because of, you know, I was born that way and just formed that way. And so because my spine is also hypermobile because of my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, it sometimes blocks off the hole. And that hole is how cerebral spinal fluid gets down into your spine. And so because that hole sometimes gets blocked off, it's all building up in my head. And so that's what's causing my neurological symptoms. And basically, I'm going to be having the big surgery to correct that. My diagnosis technically is Chiari malformation and craniocervical instability, which is literally just the instability of those two vertebrae. Cervical vertebrae at the top. And so what they're going to be doing is they are going to first do a craniectomy, which is when they remove part of the bone from the back of your skull. And what that is going to do is it's going to relieve pressure on my brain, because all that fluid building up in my brain causes a lot of pressure. Basically, my migraines, whenever I get them, which is every day, but when I get them, it feels like my eyes are going to pop out of my skull. And so they're going to basically just take a big chunk out of the back of my skull, and they're going to use that piece of bone to fuse those two unstable vertebrae. So they're going to put in screws, and then they're going to, put the bone in and fuse it. So it's a spinal fusion and a craniectomy. And if you want, you can look those up. It's a very intense surgery. I'm going to be in the neuro ICU at MedStar Georgetown, and I'll be in the ICU for a few days, and then I will be in the spine unit. They've booked me out for my 1 week post-op to, I think, May 20th, because the lady on the phone was like, you're going to be in the hospital for a while. And everyone I've talked to is in the hospital from 3 to 12 days. Like, there's no real timetable as to when I'll actually be able to go home. It's gonna depend on how I heal and if there's any complications and things like that. It is a big surgery. It was a big decision. I'm going to read you some of the symptoms. These are mostly symptoms of craniocervical instability, because we figured out that most of my symptoms do come from that. And the Chiari is kind of secondary. And so, I forgot. Because of that fluid building up in my head, part of my brain is coming down out of that hole. That's what a Chiari malformation is. The malformation is the hole being too small, but they classify it by how much brain matter is poking out of that hole. And mine is 3.5 millimeters, and that was 2.5 years ago when we checked. So since my symptoms are worse, we don't know if that has gotten worse or what. but a lot of my symptoms also fit craniocervical instability, so we're fixing both, basically. I'm gonna be looking at the list, so if I have a weird look on my face, that's why. Right. I'm just gonna read it off like it is. If you guys want to go into more depth, I'll leave basically all my diagnoses in the description. But I'm just gonna read off this list that I've found. Number one is a heavy headache, which is basically a headache from feeling like your head is too heavy for your neck. And your neck has trouble supporting your head. This is what I get a lot, which is a pressure headache. Basically, the impairment of the CSF, cerebral spinal fluid flow, causes intracranial pressure, which is aggravated by vasovagal maneuvers such as yawning, laughing, crying, coughing, sneezing, or straining. And as you guys know, we do that every day, at least one of those. Dysautonomia, which is another one of my diagnoses. Basically, dysautonomia is when you go from laying to sitting, or sitting to standing, or laying to standing, whatever. The blood pools in your feet, in your lower body, and your heart has to pump extra hard to circulate your blood, basically. And so your BP drops and your heart rate goes up. So every time I stand up, especially if I'm having a bad day, my heart rate will go from resting, which is anywhere from 65 to, my normal is from 65 to about 75. And it'll go from there to me standing up, and within 30 seconds it will be 132. So it's quite a significant jump. The other day at physical therapy, I usually do bike, but someone was on the bike, and so I was like, and my hip was hurting, so I didn't want to do bike. So I was like, let me do the elliptical. And then after about 5 minutes of being on the elliptical, I realized why I don't do elliptical anymore, because my heart rate got up to 220, and I started almost blacking out, and so I was done with that. Not doing that again. But dysautonomia can be caused by brainstem compression, which is basically what's happening with the instability, and that's right on the brainstem. And your brainstem controls all your autonomic functions, which are the things you don't think about doing: breathing, heart rate, etc., etc., etc. So it can also affect heat intolerance, and how thirsty you are, and your digestive system, and how fatigued you are. Like, it can affect everything. And other symptoms of craniocervical instability: neck pain, which I get. Central or mixed sleep apnea, I don't have. I've had several sleep studies and I don't have apnea. Facial pain or numbness, I do have. Not the pain. It's not even numbness. I get more pins and needles, and I usually get them in my fingers and my toes, bottom of my feet. But a few times I've had episodes where one whole side of my body will be pins and needles, like down my face, down my chest, down, my abdomen, like a very weird sensation. Balance problems, which I have, muscle weakness. I'm working on that in physical therapy, so it's not as bad. Dizziness, I have. Vision problems, I have blurry vision, and my vision almost sometimes crosses. Like, it's really bad when I'm driving for a long time. I can't go more than like an hour and a half without that happening. And when that happens, I usually have to pull over and sleep for a few minutes because that kind of resets whatever's going on. Difficulty swallowing, which I have. It causes either a reduced gag reflex or a hyper gag reflex. I got the hyper one, and so I gag really easily now. Ringing in the ear, which I have. Nausea, which I have. Impaired coordination, which I have. I have trouble like hooking dog leashes and putting, like, if I'm deliberately trying to like hook something, I have to do it several times before I can get it, into the whatever I'm trying to hook something on. Nystagmus, which I have a little bit of, according to my last eye visit. They won't see me until after my surgery, so I'm waiting till after my surgery, and plus I don't have good eye coverage on my insurance, so avoiding that right now. And as it gets worse, it can cause paralysis, stroke, etc., etc., which is why I'm having this surgery. So yeah, that's what's going on. I thought about making a GoFundMe just because I have no idea what's gonna happen. I don't know how fast I'm gonna heal. I could bounce back, but I'm going to be in the hospital for at least a week, probably. That's what I'm aiming for. 3 days would be great, but I'm expecting probably 5, hopefully. And then after that, I'll be home and I'll be in a hard cervical collar for I think 3 to 4 months. So I'm gonna be inside a lot this summer. So if anyone wants to come visit, I'll probably be going crazy by month 4. And like I said, I was gonna start like a GoFundMe or something, but I feel like I'd feel worse when like no one donates. So I'm probably gonna pass on that idea. But I guess I just wanted to let everyone know. I didn't want to make it like in a post because it's a very big surgery, and shit can happen. It's a 6-hour long surgery. My mom's gonna be the only one who's there that day just because I can only have one visitor in the ICU anyways, and I doubt that I'll be very cognizant the first day. And then after that, people are going to be switching off. And but once my mom updates everyone, immediate family, I'll make sure that someone comes on my Facebook and updates. I'm going to try and film some parts. We're going to be going up to Georgetown probably to just walk around and make sure that we know where we're going beforehand, so I might film some of that. And it depends on how real you guys want me to be. Like, I can have my mom film parts of what's going on, even if it's hard. So that's up to you guys. So just let me know in the comments or on Facebook when I post this. So yeah, May 4th, I will be going under. So yeah, please let me know if you have any questions. I'm really open about it. I feel like I'm probably missing some symptoms. I don't know that this had all of them, but those are the main ones, and like I fit most of them, if not all of them, and so if you have any other questions or concerns or comments, you can leave them below, and I'll try and answer them to the best of my ability. But yeah, once I'm feeling better, I'll hopefully mash some of those clips together that that my mom takes. And I will see you guys on the flip side. Bye.